Hi there YouTube, this is Dollface here on Mist Bandwagon. Thanks for stopping by my channel, I appreciate it. Today I'm going to be talking to you about two series. The first one is by an author named Zushi, not sushi, Zushi. You can find this author on the app Webcomics, and it's a very beautifully, wonderfully styled comic. I really enjoyed this person's artwork. The story is about a girl named Reina who suffers from anxiety and depression, and she one day decides to just throw it all away and say, I'm done with this, I can't go on anymore, I'm going to commit suicide. And so upon doing the act, she is stopped by a gentleman named Spencer, and he says, don't do it. If you don't think you have anyone, I'm here for you and I'll be your friend. And for some reason she says, I trust you. Well, thank you for saving me. She's not sure why she stopped when she was so committed to it, but she just feels that, you know, this guy is genuine and she can trust him. I have to say that the actual storyline can pitter-patter out of focus a little bit. Sometimes you don't really know if it's coming, if it's going, but there are very strong characters that have meaning to the story, so it's a little slow right now, but that's okay. I think the artwork more than makes up for it. So if you want to check that out, I say that you go ahead and look at it and tell me what you think. What also makes this story really cool and different from other stories is that usually when there's a typically sick character, like physically sick, it's usually they're dying from a cancer. And of course, cancer is horrible. You know, we all know someone either directly or indirectly who has been affected by cancer, and whether they have survived it or haven't survived it, it has in a way touched a lot of us. But something that doesn't really get talked about is having a character that has been affected by HIV and AIDS. You know, there's still that stigma that, you know, if you have HIV and AIDS, it was your fault, or you must have been doing some kind of unsavory sexual acts, or even worse, that it's something that's still in the gay community. And I think that's horrible. I think that having a story that has an honest discussion about the people who are afflicted by this disease and how people treat them is a really good way to have an honest conversation and get people to really understand how it's spread and how people live with it and how people can survive from it. And it's not the death sentence that it was when it was first originated. So I really applaud the artist or the author for really going outside the bounds of like typical sicknesses that we usually see in anime and manga, and instead going to a different direction to like maybe raise some questions and find out some answers. Now the second thing that I wanted to show you is a longtime favorite that I knew way back. This came out in 1997 by a very popular artist. Her name is Yuū Watase, and the book is called Ceres Celestial Legend. I loved this series. I didn't really get too far, but I got far enough. And it was such a beautiful, well-designed story that I didn't want to look at that. That is so beautiful, that old-fashioned shoujo, that beautiful shoujo look that is so stylized and, you know, really funny. And it goes back to the, you know, original creative works that, you know, a lot of us have grown into as manga readers and anime lovers. And I love this story because it has to deal with the idea of a celestial maiden. And the celestial maiden came to Earth a long time ago, and a fisherman took her celestial robe so she couldn't ascend back into heaven. And so she had his children. And then the descendants of the celestial maiden ended up getting her powers, which introduces Aya, our main protagonist, who is a direct descendant of the celestial maiden. Whereas there are people who are descendants of her, she is a direct blood relative, so that means that she gets all of her powers. And because her powers are so destructive, that means that her family is set out to kill her so they did not destroy the family and the bloodline. So this is book one, and so I'm going to start following Aya's journey through finding out who she is and what her special powers mean for her. So I'm going to be doing reviews for the manga and the entire series as well, so please follow along with me so we can read it and talk about it together. Other wonderful works by Yuū Watase include Fushigi Yugi the Mysterious Play, Alice the 19th, Absolute Boyfriend, and one of my favorites, Imadoki. I'm really looking forward to completing these series, and I hope that you stick along with me to read them as well. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.